And before we start, is there anything carried over from a different Friday before we start on our subject tonight? Questions, problems, observations? Is there anything? Yeah.
Bob, I just want to remind you in our phone conversation about, since it seems like it probably will fit into the topic, but about I had this issue with Bobby Robert Nadeau. Yeah, and you had suggested that we don't need to imitate your style, your delineation. So, you suggested for me a level of batter in baseball or something else. But yeah, it's easy to get that confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. But yeah, when I say Bobby Robert, I don't expect you to be a Robert. It's just to show you an upgrade. So what I did with him apparently on the phone was a level of batter, and then easy as settle, you open, mixes up a better level of batter, whatever you want to call those levels of batter. So that's all I'm trying to get across. So, yeah, change the words to suit you. Let's leave that one open a bit, as long as they fit into the proper context of things. Anyway, thank you, Steve. Okay. Anybody? Anything? All right. We're not going to do much with that diagram, but we can use him, I guess. So the two parts that are going on here and now. We've covered, I think, quite a lot. We just talked about it a moment ago. The development of the character, Bobby Robert Nadeau, 1 by 2 by 3 by, fair day, good day, great day. So it just were examples of what words you could maybe use, or your picture of it, and then your experience of it. So that developing your person character, I don't know what to call it, the functioning unit, boom, boom, boom. Okay. So anything to go over there? Maybe we could use the word lineage, maybe. Let's say the lineage I want to start with is the person, the character. Okay. And not to bring in the I self and who am I really. Right now, let's be distinct on which is which. And then hopefully we'll get into the overlay of the two. Let's see, both are here. Here's the person, here's the character. And the self is here. Now, the I in starting is kind of small and hard to pick up because he's there, but he's kind of small. What's an I? I'm Bobby. Is that an I? Okay. So where are we going? So right here, right now, if we're on the lineage of a better person, and I use sports as an example, the batter is just an example of using sports. It doesn't have to be sports. It could be, I'd like to be a better daddy if I had kids, okay? Or a better dog trainer. I want to get along better with the dogs if I had dogs. Whatever, okay? And so our basics on that, easy. And starting from wherever you start, okay? feel yourself and your viewpoint for a moment. Be honest with yourself. Okay, start it off properly present. Okay. So if you're starting character is a little bitchy, don't try to, I don't want to be bitchy. Not yet, easy. I'm a little bitchy. Okay. Easy. Settle means settling, opening, inferring a better level or dimension. Okay. And in that better level, on lineage, the energies of that next better level mix up a better character. Okay. So if you're on a batter's lineage, there's a fair batter. As you settle and open, it makes up a batter who's a little bit better. Boom. Maybe, and if he's feeling himself as batter, he'll say, "Oh, my feet contact is better. Oh, my hip seems to be turning more as I strike." Should pick up something. Okay. So the development of the person, we've covered that quite a lot. Okay, the dimensionality, form, with the energies at those finer next levels, mixing up a better, whatever lineage you're on. Okay, better salesman, a better daddy, a better dog trainer, a better batter, whatever. Okay. Okay, I think we've got that one kind of down pat, don't we? Did I miss anything?
Sensei, this is Tisha. I just wanted to review something there with you.
Yeah.
So character, as you're talking about it, is developed along a lineage, and that we've explored that in some depth over time.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, me too. What I want to appreciate here that we kind of just went through is that when you started, you were actually doing the process of settling. So you didn't say easy the eye this time, but that's what you were doing. You were kind of settling in, and that allows the potential of the development of a more full character, a fuller character. Yeah, in whatever lineage it is.
Yeah, so let me jump in for a moment.
Please.
So I didn't have to say easy to the eye, just because again, tonight I want to keep the eye self separate.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they're both sort of clear as two distinct things before we say how they work together.
Yeah.
If we do that too fast, I call it a smudge. People will confuse, or they're trying to bring in one when it's the other one trying to mix itself up, and they bring in the other one, and a little confusion or smudging. So I'm anti-smudging tonight.
Indeed.
Okay. So instead of saying easy to the eye, I settle, and I'm probably saying to myself, easy, easy, which means settle open. And what happened for me when I settle open is a sense of a little more space, the next dimension.
Yeah.
And in that next space, next dimension, it'll mix up whatever lineage I'm on. Better level of it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
where are we now?
And that's good. And the one thing that I want to appreciate that kind of harkens back to a couple weeks ago when we were doing slow down at the border. So this is as you're settling, we're moving through a border, so to speak. And
not so to speak, we are.
Okay.
There is a border or divider. Yes.
Okay.
But you get I asked them to slow down to really flavor how it works. In case they ever bumped into any problems later, they would recognize, oh, that's just the border stuff. No big deal. Yeah.
So as you started today, I was just watching you do all of those things that we've been talking about. You were settling, and you were really taking a time. You weren't taking your time. You weren't rushing into the place where you were settling for. So I just wanted to make that note, because this process that we're doing, the development process of the character, it has all these beautiful components that we're practicing, that we can practice in any part of life, and in Aikido on the mat, but certainly, in all the lineages that you were talking about, whether that's Aikidoist or father or brother or sister or mom or anything.
Remember the really dumb one? I'd stop at the bottom of a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Because I'd been a walker. Now I'm a stair climber coming up soon.
Yeah.
Take a moment, easy, because the system wants to make some changes from walker to stair climber.
Mm-hmm.
Them little games we can play during the day for fun and practice.
Yeah, that's good. So just acknowledging that. Yeah, thank you very much. That's great.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be, although these things can get very fast, I'm leery that it'll become a fast idea. Oh, yes, I understand a finer dimension. Yes, I'm there. And it's just an idea, and it's going to screw up after a bit. So to feel, to be more present, to experience that next dimension, where in case of characters, it's mixing up a better, more alive character. Robert feels more alive than Bobby. Bobby tends to be a little meh. Robert starts to wake up a bit. Nadeau is, hey, almost here I am. What's up? Kind of thing. So the aliveness factor is as we go dimensionally, can increase. Okay, yeah, is that all right? But let's say you bump into a very good, great athlete. I'm sure that their aliveness hum, can I use that word here? I tried that. Their aliveness hum is noticeable. And even if you didn't know who he was, you'd say, who is that guy? Because there's this alive hum, make up your own word, but alive. And he's not the norm. He's more alive. Okay. And then you find out he's the great whatever, the great boxer, the great whatever. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to follow the flow here. Okay, let's stay with that word. So I'm going to use the word alive with the character, the developing person on lineage, alive. Okay. And I would like you to, if you're playing with that, kind of feel that word, because when we shift over to self, it has its own, I don't want to say aliveness. Okay. It has its own juice. Okay. It has its own juice. And we will use, I'll bring it up tonight later, a different word to represent that. So I would like you to get a little bit clear on the words that you're using. And you use your words. I use alive for the character, more alive, more vibrant, I might say. But it's clear to me I'm talking about character. Okay. Or I'm humming a bit. Again, for me, that'd be a character word. Okay. So, but you be clear on the word or words that you use for the ever, if we're going dimensional, those are dimensional things, the ever finer dimension, its vibration rate is different. Therefore, it mixes up a character who's vibing at a different rate, could we say. You recognize your own word. Okay. Are we okay so far with that? Questions, problems?
Good.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know if there's anything much we have to say about the development of the character. Is there? Haven't we covered that so well through the years? Whether it's been a couple of years on Friday nights here or in the dojo or whatever. This is kind of an old basic. Are we okay with that old basic of character development, a better level of person you, and then whatever lineage you're on? Okay. Yeah, we're okay with that. Okay. Now, let's see. I can't use that one because I want to erase that, guys. So let me use the whiteboard here. Still paper. One more. Come on, paper. Okay. Okay. So in the same space, okay, say that space is this space where this person here now, Robert Nadeau, at least Nadeau exists. Okay. Now let's erase. So we'll keep this blank. Let's erase our caring for, are utilizing the person as a reference. Oh, I feel a little tighter here or a little looser there, or that's vibrating. Let's clear from that, because we're going to go into an easy the I. Easy. Soon there'll be an I self. Okay. And that'll continue a dimensional pattern. Okay. I like the example of paper to represent. Let me see. Screw up my drawing here. That the paper represents the self. And at this level of Nadeau or Robert, whatever level you're at, there is paper. Self is there. But because this character and the world he's in, all the stuff that's going on around him, it's like he's hard pressed to get a clear sense of self. Okay. So what I want to do is ignore the drawing and deal with the easy the eye self with that sense of it's just a clear paper there. It's not a nothing. It's aware of itself. It's involved with itself, but not the busyness of the I mind of the person. Easy, easy. So anyway, for me, I like the paper with a drawing on it. The drawing is the character and everything that's going on for him. The paper is the self. Okay. I don't know if that came across well. It's a beautiful picture in my world, but I don't know if it comes across well. Okay.
Sensei, this is Lauren.
Sure.
Sometimes you've described that as the self is a pane of glass, a piece of glass.
Yeah. I would use the piece of glass that you so nicely gave me, except I don't know how to erase the coloring from it.
They will come right off, Sensei.
Yeah.
They'll come right
The
off.
paper and the piece of glass, yeah, same thing. Just thought a different presentation might touch people a bit different. Same. Okay. Sense, yeah. Okay. So where the hell are we? They are in a relationship, but I don't know if we want to get into that right now. Okay, they are in relationship, in the sense that as the character gets better, and because he's easy, settled, open, and the character gets better because of that easy, settle, open. The self the I self sort of tracks along with it. If the character has interest, now if the character doesn't have any sense of the inner self, it may not be clear to him. Am I screwing up these words? I hope not. Be clear to him that it's there. Okay. I forgot where I was going with this. If somebody comes to me, I'm going to try to salvage my conversation here. If somebody comes to me and says, Sensei, I want to improve my golf game. Can you help me? I doubt very much if I'll bring up self to them. They want to improve their golf game. So I say, okay, stand there. Let me see how you stand there. It's like, oh shit, you're not very grounded, man. I'm working the character person. I may introduce them into settling a bit and feeling a little bit different. How do you feel? Oh, my hips are starting to wiggle a bit. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to dialogue them as to what they came to me with. Okay, so far somebody else comes to me and says, Sensei, I heard you have some insight in things. I'm a great golfer, but I'm kind of bored with it. I'm wondering why the hell I'm even bothering. I've saved enough money. I'm bored with the acclaim but something is missing. They're not asking me about golf. They're asking me about self. Oh, no, I change my look at them or my dialogue with them about, ease of the eye, self. Self is bitching. Self is pushing. Self wants to be acknowledged. Because it's there doesn't mean that people are acknowledging it, kind of thing. Okay? Don't know if I said anything right with that little go around. Help me here. Don't let me get too lost.
Well, a sunset can be beautiful, but if you don't connect your attention with it, what difference does it make?
Is that moon?
I'm just peeking in. I got to start in a second, but I had to sneak in and hear this. I was very interested in this rap.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was so confused because I thought you were out on a gig. Could you say that again for me?
I am, and I was just about to start, but I was so interested in this particular rap before they let us on stage. I wanted to catch how much I could, and this is exactly what I wanted to hear.
I said something else right. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Richard.
Well, this whole, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so we've got a person here and now. Oh, Sensei, don't go anywhere. Here and now. Person wants to develop better in a physical sense or a functioning sense. Yeah, not just golfing, better daddy, better doctor, better. Yeah. In that same space, in that same dimensional movement, and very important that you have this undersettling, ever increasing depth of things, because there's this damn major of being aware of. And one day we'll just talk about that. That's an old virtually from the beginning. They over-awared and lacked the actual experience. And it continues to this day. Okay. So here and now, with the sense of settling, and when you move through dimensions, that you're also moving deeper through dimensions. Okay, not just an upper form where you can move through dimensions, but you'll miss the fullness of experience. You'll get some, but not the fullness. And you're throwing the balance of creation off because you're overdoing one side and the other side is lacking. It hasn't been allowed to be in harmony, upper to the under and under to the whatever being. Okay. There are two forces of creation. They want to work in accord. Okay. So we can get partials by doing partial, but that'll screw you up in the long run. Okay. So this settling, sense experiencing, okay, it's very important. Am I diverging too much? Anybody? Where are we? Did you get lost along the way?
Essentially, this is Justin. I wanted to make a comment or to get some clarification here.
Yeah.
We're talking about developing character and lineage person. We settle and open,
Okay.
and our sense feeling of character relates maybe to an available level of functioning character, depending on the situation that the character is lining up to or positioning with. If, for example, we're going to climb the stairs, as I'm settling into a sense of character, will feel that I'm available for 5 or 10 stairs, but 500, probably not.
Yeah.
And the capacity to access at that level, the energies or situation at hand is the situation is 5, not 500.
Yeah.
And
no problem.
no.
Enjoy the 5 because the process is going to be pretty much the same for the 500, but it'll take you a bit longer at first to get the mix for a character that can do 500 steps. But you're practicing basics when you do a proper 5-step or 10 steps. Okay. Yeah. You get, that's very important. These first level 1, level 2, level 3, these first dimensional things are very important to get established good, I don't know what they call it in school, or good study habits. Get good study habits in high school because you're damn well going to need them in college.
Yes.
You set it up right. You don't get sloppy on your first set because you'll carry that into your second set, and your second set will be kind of sloppy. That's very important to approach it. I know some of my advanced people probably get bored with me when I start a class off on very simple things with the sense, oh, I already know that. I don't have to do that. They don't realize how important, no, feel this, really set this up. And then we'll move into level 2. And I don't care if you've seen level 2 for the last 10 years, do it, damn it, because we need that set. So you aware people will often tend to do that. Oh, I know what he's talking about. No, do it. Feel yourself at level 1, because in feeling yourself at level 1, it'll facilitate level 2 feeling itself, and it will facilitate level 3 feeling itself, for example. Okay. Yeah. Am I diverging too much? Anyway, so as we, where are we going here? Okay, so let's just, I think we're good enough on the character for now. We'll bring them back later on the converging. What word are we using? Not converging, the overlay.
Overlay sensing.
Overlay form of things. Okay. So apparently we don't need to go over anything on developing a better level of character. Okay. You all got that one, right? Okay. So now, sitting here and now in this space, there is some paper, easy, because it's potentially kind of small. Easy. What does easy mean? Settle, open. We're moving into a little bit larger space. Easy. Okay. Remember my emphasis on the deeper sense feeling of things. We want to continue with that. It's not, oh, easy the eye, and I range around the upper levels and I'm ranging and it's free. Oh, I feel so free. I'm a kite, I'm a balloon. Oh, I'm free. Yes, you can do that. And one day we'll go over that style of meditation and stuff. Not tonight. Here, here, here. Okay. Oh, Sensei told you, he said, don't go anywhere. Don't go into that as a major. Here, major dimensionally here, here can bring us through finer and finer and finer of both ease of the eye and the character. Okay. When you do them both here that way, it will facilitate the overlay, proper overlay. Okay, and we'll get into that after a bit. Okay. So I guess we have to do a little easy the eye. Okay, up and down. Easy. Now, if you still have a chattering mind, it's, well, what are we being easy about? What are we looking for? Easy. Let all that go. Easy. That's related to the drawings. Let the drawings go. Easy. As the eye eases, there's a settling opening of I-ness. Easy. Easy. I'm getting a little sense of empty here in my flavor. Don't panic. It's okay. Easy. Easy. The I self is kind of elusive at first. Easy. It's okay. You get any sense of a little more spaciousness, a little more room, a little, I don't know, airier? Is that the right word? Airier? Easy. Easy. Okay. Now, in the settle, easy, open, in that more room, the energies of mixing up a character might be there for you. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any drawings right now. I want to stick with the paper, the canvas, the piece of glass. Easy the eye. I moves along into an I self. Easy. Easy. Starting to notice like a calmness flavor. Oh, is the I self calm? There's calmness. Easy. Easy. I'm going to stick with the glass that's moving through calmness. It's still glass, becoming more aware of itself, its bigger self, as glass or canvas or clear paper. Easy the eye, easy the eye. I don't know, right up to that point. Your sense of the area, the little more spaciousness, do we have to know? Can't hurt. What's your sense of that you are in fact easing the I, heading into an I self? Okay.
Comfortable, no chatter.
Okay, no chatter. Okay, somebody?
No chatter. I agree. No chatter.
Chatter, yeah.
unwound, clearer.
What's the first part, first word?
Unwound, not wound up, but unwinding.
Okay, okay, feels like I've unwound, okay. Okay.
For me, I'm back to the familiar again. Familiar place.
That this space, for lack of word, space, feels familiar or senses familiar? Is that what you meant?
Hi. Yes,
Yes, Tom?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. We're going to continue a bit, but along the way, Noah, say something about this and where it's heading for you.
There's an inner glow here that's not the product of the forces that mix the character.
Okay, he's a bit ahead of us here. And he's already picking up the aliveness. I'm not going to use that word because I use it for the character, but the aliveness of the self itself, we're going to use the word glow as a useful word that we can use. We'll be free to change it, but glow seems to be a nice a sense of it for a bit. Okay, so a little bit ahead of us. I just was still myself into that, just letting go and getting a sense of more room, airiness, freedom, easy. Making sure I'm letting go of any drawings that may be jumping in and trying to draw. I'm not interested in that right now. Easy. Okay. Easy. Tija, you've run into a million people doing this. Where are we here? Where are we going with it?
Yeah, there is, you start to feel a natural alignment. For
Are you
me,
using the body with that word feel?
I most certainly am using the word, using the body with that.
Okay, could we not? Could we
Well-
not? Unless you're using it for a quick reference.
Okay.
How do I know I'm in
then
the
it is in
seat? Let me
fact-
check the body. Oh, the body is. I want to stay away from the drawings if I can right now. is
Okay,
what I'm
but
trying
that's
to
where
do.
that's where I'm starting. I'm starting with that sense of alignment that is relaxed. It's naturally aligned, and in that there is spaciousness. There's an effortlessness about it for me. It's effortless, effortless being. I'm not having to do anything with the structure, but I start with the alignment. I start with the feeling of that alignment.
Yes. Okay. Could I say, you could start with the alignment before you start with, now I'm ready. Easy the eye. So that I don't have to, as I'm easing the eye, be checking out the body. We're back to fucking drawings again. I want to stay away from the drawings here to clarify easy the eye self. Because I think we smudge them, and I want to stay away totally from anything that might smudge them. That's why I'm yammering here.
Okay, then effortless presence, after that is established, there's an effortlessness about that.
Okay. After that's established. So yes, again, in the beginning of your sitting, establish that as part of your beginning setup. When you've got that, you're comfortable on the pillow, so to speak. You're kind of, you've made all your little adjustments. Yeah. Now, inner, finer, easy the eye. Who the hell am I? Let me start that. Okay. So I think he and I clarified that.
Yeah.
We clarified that. Are you clear?
I am clear.
Those other people. I'm looking at other faces here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you see, tonight I wanted to major in with this fear that there's a lot of smudging going on in the world. I wanted to separate out to two so that there'd be less smudging. Okay. So that's why I'm yammering, because we want to separate out. So easy to the eye, self, airiness, a sense of more room. I like what you said at the end, Tisha, what do you call that? Effortlessness?
Effortless presence. Yeah.
Effortless, yeah. So I self-present. And it's an effortless presence. There's a nice flavor to that, seems like. Okay. Yeah. After a bit, as we move along, see, we're moving dimensionally here. Easy the eye. Moving along dimensionally, I change it a little bit. I say I self. Easy, I self. As I move along, I may just say self. Okay. There'll be a certain point here. Am I jumping the gun? A certain point where the self itself will make itself known. I see Noah's ahead of us said, oh, it's glowing. It's making itself known, could we say? Let's see. In essence, it's saying, I'm here, I glow. Is that all right, Bob? Did I worded it that way? Yeah. He gave me the thumbs up. It's okay. Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to ask something, if you don't mind. This is Elaine.
Yeah, gotcha.
It seems I may be jumping ahead also.
Probably. Damn you advanced people.
So, yeah, you can tell me to shut up and wait if you need to. But it seems there is a switch that happens in this beginning of, you make a decision to be present, easy the eye, and there are these, how do I say this? At a certain point, when the aliveness and the vibrance really starts to be apparent, it seems that what's happening is not so much, it's a process we started, but then the self takes over. And it's not so much that you're making any decisions about what's going to happen or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're just being with what the self has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Returning back to yourself. It
seems like it flips. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I think, didn't you start at the beginning where you first started to sit and there's a lot of energies moving around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At the same place that Tisha was lining things up here. They're
right.
Starting there, and you're saying, okay, a bunch of energies, yeah. Okay, they're just energies. I'm not interested in that right now. Fine. Now, easy the eye, and we're heading for paper to continue being paper, clear glass to be it's a bigger piece of clear glass right here. So is that what you mean by the glitch?
It's not really, I don't feel it as a glitch. I feel it
you brought
as
the word up.
a shift, maybe more a shift in how we're present with it. That in initially we're making a decision to settle and open and
we're making a decision to either meditate or be a ball player. Which one are you going to use? Which one are you on?
Right.
Yeah. Right now, we're on the easy the eye one. Okay. Now where are we?
So, yeah. And I guess what I'm asking is a little early then maybe. I kind of felt that I switched from lining up and sort of getting ready or whatever we do to open up to this, to letting it dictate, letting self
Yeah.
speak, letting self be more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's no longer me saying it's
I think we're still talking about the pre-prep of sitting to meditate. Sounds to me what you're saying, that there's some pre-prep. Key just said he likes to line up here. You say first you're aware of energies and stuff. Sure, of course. Now in there, I'm shifting to the paper, easy the eye self. But I need some minutes. And if I were really pissed off at the boss all day, I'd need a couple extra minutes because I'm really, and it takes me a little bit longer to get here, to begin to feel and make sure I'm sort of here, lined up, comfortable on the pillow. And then someplace there, I start with easy the eye form, or what I call meditation. Yeah, are we okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Anybody? I don't want to lose anybody here. We okay so far?
Sensei, this is Eugene. I am wondering how it maps into your description of paper or glass. For me, this relaxation feels like the kind of fresh air, almost like after the rain air, and kind of my point from which observation happens almost moves all the way back to the point that I am kind of in front of this. There is kind of independent observation, and it happens at the level. Independent observation. My point from which I am observing what happens is all the way in the back to the point that my body is somewhere in front of it.
Okay.
Is it the paper?
Possibly, yes, possibly your position of self is way back, and that's what you're talking about. If that's so, we will try to get yourself to align and underlie the body, because way back is not quite what we want for a lot of things. So if it in fact is way back, and hopefully as you begin to, I don't know the word now for self, I don't want to say sense feel, because feeling is a kind of a human physical word, but it's sensing itself. It's aware of itself and it's sensing itself. Got nothing to do with physical right now. We're on paper, we're on glass. Okay. If your self is back, it will, as you more have a sense of what I'm saying, that a sense experience, it's experiencing itself, got nothing to do with body stuff, that it will naturally position in better.
Right.
Okay. So far, we've had a couple of people contact me and say, in playing with the alignment of self to their person, I had a couple of, oh, I was off to the side. So they're making a correction because they'll function better when it's positioned in the here and now underlying their person. It'd be much better, much healthier. Okay, is that okay so far?
Right. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
And that's the work me and Susan have been playing with. Ill people, kind of screwed up in different ways, come into her office, and we're double checking their self's position with their body. Because if the self is way out of alignment, the body is being affected. Okay. So somebody, this is a great one. Somebody who mentioned to me their self was off to the side said, oh, and then I realized that me, the person, I tend to do things from the side. I thought, oh, beautiful. A self off to the side, the person goes off to the side. Where was I going with that? That in getting their selves to be more present in relation to the person, because the self has a lot of glow, a lot of life energy, different than the body energies. Okay. But it underlies those and enhances those. So when the self is present, we potentially get a lot of healing potential there. Okay. So if Danny's on, Danny. Okay. Gina's on, Gina. Big down dark time. You like that. Big down dark. Where does that bring you? To a much finer level. Okay. And at that level, you'll touch something that you know you've gone as far as you can go, kind of thing. As it suddenly dawns again, the night dark time is over and it dawns again. Okay. For you, I would suggest that in that dawning is self. Self is there, sense of self. Okay. And because self has this Noah glow, this radiation, self is there, and self positioned here and now, that radiation can radiate out and take care of physical things. We're getting some good results, me and Susan. Okay. We're seeing this thing works. Okay. So that's my suggestion of using the dark, better level of self. But make sure the position. So better level of self glows, radiates, and that radiation will naturally affect. Okay. I might suggest don't you leave the glow to see how things are going. Trust the pattern. It's glowing. Okay. If you want to add better vision or something, fine. Just say the word, but don't leave the glow and come out to that. Don't leave this inner finer to check the person's bullshit out, is what I'm trying to say. I can't say things in a nice way, but Gina knows me, so. Okay? Okay, thank you. Where the hell are we, people? Where are we? Okay. Self. Let's make because we're eating up time. Easy. You're on track, easy the eye to a self. Okay. Let's not do baby steps anymore. The best you can. Easy. Easy. Go back to our last place there. Easy the eye. Self easy. Okay. Now, there is a finer level of self. And finer level of self is here. I'm sort of skipping through, moving through a few dimensions, let's say. When I do this, it's my downtime, down to a finer level, and it's opening again, finer level of self. I don't know what words to use. My sense feeling was there was some bright, I don't know. There's something here, bright. I could really feel it. I don't mean physical, sense feeling. Easy. Better level of self. Boom. And the better level of self. Easy. Okay, easy. Do the best you can have a sense presence feeling. Might be a tendency to come out and turn and look. It's hard to see the finer and finer, whatever things, if we're over here looking. Sense feeling, sense experiencing self is experiencing itself. Okay. All right. Okay. We got the game one more time on that, and I'll try to shut up. Easy the eye. And the finer, the more original, the bigger piece of the paper of self. is here, moving into downtime here, into the bigger piece of paper that's here. Self, a finer level of self, a truer self. Easy. Sense experience, self is experiencing itself. We did a class 6 months, a year ago on over self, talking to it. I don't like the word over self anymore because I want to really position it better. And talking to it. It's like, instead of talking to it, it's experiencing, for lack of words, itself. Finer level of self is experiencing itself as self. Before we finish, a quick check without losing this on its position with that physical body, person, character, you. What I'm trying to get you to is a sense of the here and now of it, that it is bigger than the person's body, but it's right here. I don't know if you have a glow yet, but maybe for some of you, some sense of an emanation, let's say. What's your sense? Here is a better level of self, experiencing, for lack of words, itself as self. For lack of words, it's alive with itself. Not to confuse it with the aliveness of a better baseball player. This is self's aliveness. So maybe I shouldn't use that word. This is self's glow, but maybe you don't quite sense it as a glow. Maybe you have a different sense of self's emanations. Okay. Felt like not a bad touch. Let's get the feedback. Easy.
My unwinding became clear and clear. My sense of clear became a very faint at first, but radiating, a radiant core, faintly radiating from a core. My sense of body disappeared completely. That was clear. And a core radiating, again, faint at first, but
yeah.
I imagine sitting with it for a while, it would become more and more powerful or potent or obvious.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost what expected to. Without doing a number on it, that's the law. You had a Bobby, then you had a Robert, then you had Nato. The law hasn't changed. You had a blue belt, then you had a brown belt, and you had a black belt. The law hasn't changed. Okay. It's not going to get worse. Maybe things that happen to go, what the hell is that, or something, but it's still on that same routine of more original. The purity, perfection of more original. It's still heading that way. If we don't bend and contort and whatever, that's where it's heading. That's where it's always been heading. Okay. Once we unwind a bit. Yeah. Somebody that,
This is Nancy.
who?
This is Nancy. I train with Bob Noah. I'm getting a sense of pervasive benevolence, a sense of generosity, benevolence, like pervading all.
Okay. Okay. Benevolent self. And other word, generosity?
Yeah, like a generosity that's available from someplace. A big generosities all around.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, in tracking back, experiencing back the I self and finer, more original self, might be getting into a different topic here, but the qualities of self might begin to show along the way. So that might be one of the, at least, well, one of the main qualities. I play the game of four. For you, there are four main ones, or archetype 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then we let whatever percentage of each one be present. Okay. All right. So yeah, I like the flavor there. As you continue, be naturally open to whatever more or next wants to show. They sometimes take turns in the way that they show, even though they're all there. They make like take turns, kind of thing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Almost a different topic, but yeah, I like the flavor. Somebody, you're a little more advanced self, a bigger piece of paper, bigger piece of glass. I changed the word self, a finer self, truer self. You find your own words. I'm just making sure I'm helping myself move along. Okay, easy the I self, easy after a bit of finer self, easy, whatever word you want to use. What's finer than a finer self? Original self, a more original self. Okay, the original self is too big a jump. More original self. Let's see how I use the words. I don't expect you to use those words, but get how I use them and use your words in a similar fashion. They're moving along words. Okay. Don't disservice yourself. Oh, no, not me. And don't jump. Oh, self, I'm an original God. I'm God. Don't go that way. But do move along, for lack of words. Okay. Bob, did I check with you on this better level of self? What you get to?
The glow becomes more and more full and fine as self experiences itself more deeply.
Yeah, should be so. Where the I don't know, again, the finer of glow is glowing. The size of it is glowing.
And it's self-generated by self.
Yes. It's not, yeah. See, as a character, you're generated by the energy beats there. Center, circle, center, or up and down and up, whatever form you're playing with. And that helps generate the aliveness of a person. The self has more access to its own, what should we say there, Bob? Its own resources of itself?
Yes, it produces its own nutrients, if we can use that word here.
Okay.
Its own fullness.
Yeah.
Could you say it is the nutrients?
Would that be
I wouldn't want
goodwill?
to confuse the word, because we use nutrients a lot in the potted plant form.
Right.
And we're using it in terms of the plant, the person, the character. I don't want to use that sort of right here now. It might smudge. It might smudge.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's self-supplying, or it seems to be able to pump its own increase or something. Yeah, okay. But
So,
I don't want to use words that we use in the tighter spiral of the heavier manifest here. See that there's a smudging potential. I don't want to go there with that.
It's self-feeding.
You mentioned, you used the word emanation at some point, and it just seems that that fits with this also, that it emanates, okay.
Glows,
So that's not
it emanates, it radiates,
right.
in any comfortable sense that you have of.
And that's really different from a 2-beat or any of the other things that we talk about on the other levels. I also noticed in some earlier stages of this that I was feeling porous. And then I realized that even that porous. But I realized that even that description is still related to physicality. So I dropped that also and just kept just stayed with this, the self overlay, just kept letting go of the physicality and letting go into the self and letting that aliveness. And I got to that quality of there's it has its own, the words are all wrong. It has its own emanation, its own it's not a voice, but it's its own process, its own pattern, its own thing.
It's pretty good at doing that. When the work I'm doing with Susan, when we ask the selves to be present, better in position, underlying their person, we realize some selves aren't aware of their aliveness enough, at the level they're at. And so if we see that, we ask the selves to, I don't know, Susan, can you hear me? Do a little pump to increase their aliveness presence to help facilitate healing and stuff. And maybe by pumping a little bit, where the person will go, whoa, there is something within me. They'll feel that glow, that something, and it'll be easier for them to say, oh yes, inside me is something, whatever, however they term it. They'll like feel it, or feel the radiation of it, or have a better inner sense of something. So one day you'll be able to say to those people, inner self, and they'll go, oh yes. They already kind of know what you're talking about because they've experienced it. Something like that. Okay. Running out of time here soon. The overlay, again, I think I've laid it out, but many levels of self, let's say, okay? So we're finding a lot of selves who are out of position with their person. We probably have a lot of hovers, probably more hoverers, lookers, and therefore their person is probably a thinker a certain way, I've had a couple of people talk about off to the side. I've told you a couple of cases I experienced in my development where a self was way the hell back there. Didn't want to get involved with this kid who's dying. Didn't want any part of him. I tried to say, hey, why don't you come in? We can maybe cure the kid. He said, hell no, I ain't going. Again, my sense was at this time of asking him to take repossession of his totally wrecked car. And he said, no, man, I ain't going there. So to get them to position better, to get them to come more alive, especially in not just healing, but as an example, to get some healing effect. Okay. All right. There's some great potential there. In the presence of self, the character can square away better, be affected by that presence, and square away better, not just get healthier, but I don't know, end up in the right career for them or something. It should facilitate an improvement of the person in all kinds of ways. I'm probably not saying it well. Susan, are you on?
She's here, Sensei, but muted.
Susan?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I am here.
Say something intelligent.
Well, I was thinking about a woman that I worked with not too long ago who
It's not clear for me. Can you?
It's probably our connection, internet.
Susan, we're having difficulty hearing you.
Yeah.
Sensei, I'm afraid we don't have a good connection.
She's out in the boonies. Anyway, so let me throw it out to you folks. This self-present underlying is right here, and because it glows, it affects. It charges. It charges the normal energies that are there in dimensional work energies. The self-present adds to those, enhances those. I had my other notebook. There's a couple other words that I heard from a sensei. Enhances. Picks up the pace anyway. Okay, so that's why I'm interested in proper position. That's why I'm interested in those who are really interested, spend some time, easy to the eye, and get to a better level of self. Some cool things can happen there. Okay, good for you. Help. Where are we here with that?
Sensei, you asked me to remind you to tell the O-Sensei story about character distinct from self and then overlaid.
Oh, I think, to some degree, I'm a follower of O-Sensei's work. I just changed the words you can understand because in some cases he wasn't very good at that. That's what O-Sensei was trying to show you. Inner finer self. Now look at this character, Ueshiba, the warrior, amongst other. Anyway, look how well things happen because of this presence of self that manifests through all those other dimensions. So he was basically presenting an overself pattern. Overlaid pattern. Okay. Overlaid pattern. He was a beautiful example, except for his words were hard to follow. But that's what he was presenting. Okay.
What I was trying to remind you of was the
Musashi story
of O-Sensei's own development from building the strength and indomitable character.
Okay. Yeah.
And
you want to go over that?
Going through a change when he met Onisaburo.
Okay, quickly again here. He caught on real quick to a development of character. Okay. And he continued that development of character. He was a strong center major. And he got stronger and stronger and did more martial arts and got better and better. Okay. He didn't have, although he had, I think, all the pieces, he didn't really have all the pieces. They were available to him, but he meets Takeda, who is a top of the line jujitsu killer. He is powerful. And O-sensei learned from him to be better centered. Okay, he was missing the fullness of it. Okay, pick that up from Takeda. Then, when he gets the fullness of this, he has this urge. He goes to Deguchi. Okay, Deguchi sees him. Deguchi realizes here's a real potential self is here, but he's not quite working it right. Deguchi helps him to realize self is present. Okay, now for O-sensei to pick up easier on self, Deguchi also presented to him a lot about the circle to the center. Okay, again, O-sensei had a bit of it, but not to the fullness. Deguchi presented the fullness of the circle to the center, and thus the when you get that balance there of a great character, again, the self that was there really started to show out. And soon, now we're going to get O-sensei. He told me all those other times earlier when he was a tough guy and best in town and stuff, and some people refer to him as O-sensei. He said, no. But now he'll accept that, O-sensei, because he's got center circle, which enabled the self that was there to start to radiate, to be present. You got this beautiful overlay. That's O-sensei at his best, as we knew him at his best. Does that cover it, Lauren? Okay, all right. One of my, I've mentioned many times or a few times, I'm doing judo and I'm into meditation at the time. Something's nagging on me. So I meditate, whatever. Some hours later, I go to judo class and I'm pretty familiar with my ability. I'm doing a bit better judo. It's better. And I realize meditation and doing better judo, there's some relationship. How can they be related? I meditate at home. Sometimes it's many hours or even a day later, I go to judo and judo man is better. What the hell? Okay. Basically, part of the question I had when I went to Japan, okay, what do these two have to do with each other? Or I was starting to get pretty good in an upper form of meditation, dimensional, and doing quite well, okay? And saying, wow, this is really beautiful. And I said, I could sense a little trickle down, but nothing major. So one of my questions going to Japan was, what does this awareness, I'm really talking self, what does this self have to do with this character? I know they kind of relate somehow, but I'm not sure how. So pretty much as soon as I saw O-sensei, I said, oh shit, there it is. Now, how do I do it? And that's my line of questioning to O-sensei. How do you do it? And how do you do it to the level that you got to? Okay, so if that helps historically.
Thank you so much, Sensei. And very natural conclusion point.
Good. Anybody, anything before we conclude totally? No, thank you, Teja. Thank you, Elaine. And you other folks.
Thanks, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good to see you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Sensei. It's Bill Huey in San Diego.
Mull on this. And next week, see if there's any feedback on some important stuff. This really, really important. Yeah.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Lauren.